Okay, so again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to all. Okay, so today we will continue our next chapter, which is under chapter 9. Okay, file operation, which is the last final chapter for this course within this semester. So, meaning that if you have you attend this class, meaning that you should have covered all the class that I have to provide you for this semester. So file operation will be a short class. It's just a couple of instructions for you to operate with files. Okay, easy. So you don't need to understand a lot of things. You just need to remember, okay, when I want to take information from file is you need to use this kind of format. You need to use this kind of command. And when you want to produce a file, you use this kind of format. Okay, before that, I want to ask you first because this is actually a real question will being asked to me. Okay, sir, file tu macam mana? Sir, what is file? What is file exactly? I cannot understand what is file. This is I think 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, one question was asked for me to me by a computer science student who her background, her or him, I forgot. I think her. She was her her background she did not expose she was not exposed to the computer technology as much as other students lah. So when I want to teach her programming, okay, when I want to teach her programming, she can do programming, okay, according to what I've done. But the structure of the computer, the ethics of the computer, like for the not the ethics, it's more like the structure lah, structure, architecture, the routine of a computer. She could not understand it. So one of the question give me, okay, how does file works actually? What is file? Okay, I'm not sure whether you guys understand or not. You guys are you guys are smartphone generation, right? So smartphone generation, supposedly you know what is file, right? You guys know what is file or not? When I tell you photo file, PDF file, okay, Word file, you guys know or not? You guys know or not? Anik, do you know about file?
Yes.
File, PDF file, JPEG file. Okay, supposedly, okay, a file is a compilation of data that represent some information lah. Okay, basically file compilation of data that represent information. So some compilation, okay, they represent documents, which is you open with Microsoft Word. Some compilation that represent like what I'm showing you right now, PowerPoint, okay, represent slides. So it become a PowerPoint file. Okay, so each file might be opened by different software. So some software, because they want to preserve their genuine authenticity of their copyright, okay, or their intellectual property, they tend to make their compilation encrypted or certain format only provided by them. So that's why they create PPT file, docx file, okay. So and others, like for example PDF, they are more universal and open source, mean that everybody can use it. Okay, like for example we have PDF file, we have text file, we have JPEG, we have PNG, we have a lot more example which are open source, meaning that any other software developers who utilize on files, they can utilize those file types without any consequences, legal consequences lah. Okay, if like for example a software want to do something like PowerPoint file, okay, similar with Windows, okay, they need to pay some kind of what can I say, some kind of copyright. They have to have some permission for them to have use those kind of file type that provided by the original developer like Microsoft. So this one of the issues, like for example before this in Linux, if you have slides or you want to do slides or you want to do spreadsheet or you want to do documents in Linux PC, you cannot save or import it immediately from PowerPoint or Microsoft Word or even Microsoft Excel. So only these days, okay, they have some kind of conversion happening there in Linux to encourage other people. You can edit, but it's not totally lah. Some of the features only. So this is just to preserve the authenticity lah. So some of the file that we will be using in Tony, like for example, that we are going to use in this programming. Okay, most of them are, I think all of them are what we call it open source file types that you can use in whatever programming language that you want to do. Okay, like for example, we are going to look at into .csv file, .text file. Okay, CSV file is like a spreadsheet file, data like Excel, which is a more open source. Excel can open CSV file, okay, as also others spreadsheet program as well. Okay, and this is one of the common files that we use for okay, like sending data, receiving data, okay, for database and everything lah. Okay, and then other than that, we have text file. So text file is one of the original files that we have for saving information lah. So basically, file, okay, is a form of data that has been stored in your PC. Okay, when you create something, when you develop something, you need to convert those data from read-only data to write data. Okay, means that is from data. If you know that your PC, they have two types of hard drives. They have two types of memory. Okay, first is what we call it a random access memory, and second one is read-only memory. So when you do programming, most of them in random access memory. So when you do the programming in your PC, they have stored your information, your variables, all of them in your random access memory. What happened when you turn off your PC? Okay, because random access memory, the information stored in random access memory is based on your power supply. So when you turn off your PC, power supply is gone, information is gone. So this is bad. Okay, and then we have only another one is what we call ROM, read-only memory. So read-only memory here is where it's a little bit harder to remove from your PC. Okay, exactly not read-only memory, but in our current PC, they have other names for that, but they have EAP ROM, PROM, everything, right? But just to summarize, we have read-only memory. So when you do all those programming in file, in random access memory, you want to save the results in your computer. So when you want to save the results in your computer, usually we need to change them into a data type, and we store it in a read-only memory, meaning your hard drive, your CD-ROM. I'm not sure whether you know about CD-ROM or not. Okay, your thumb drive, okay, or your floppy disk. Okay, if you use any, I don't think you use floppy disk anymore. Okay, so in your, like for example, your thumb drives. Okay, so when you store in your thumb drives, when you turn off your PC, your information will remain in your thumb drive. So that's why you can pull out your thumb drive and not worry that your data will be missing. Okay. Okay, even though it doesn't have a battery. Do you guys agree with me? Does anybody here have thumb drive powered by battery? No, right? Anik, your thumb drive powered by battery or not?
No.
No battery in thumb drive, right? You don't need to change, right? You mentioned remain there. So meaning that your thumb drive is based on read-only memory. Okay, so in our chapter 9 files operation, what we're going to do is that I'm telling you guys, when you do your programming there, you create a result. How are you going to save those results into a file type? Okay, into a file. Save it as a read-only memory data. Okay, or another N for another session is how can you take a data from read-only memory and you process it, okay, update it, renew it, okay, calculate about it, okay, and then when you're done, you want to save it as a new data. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. So most of them, most of the information today that I'm going to tell you is based on commands only. So it doesn't need to
Sir,
understand. Yeah.
so dekat slide mana?
Saya dekat slide first ni. Saya tak buka lagi.
Oh, okay.
Okay, don't worry. So the instruction, I'm explaining about file. Okay, so when you use file, okay, so mana tadi? So this class is based on commands only. So you just need to know how do you want to take the information from files and how to save the information to a file. That is what we're going to do today. Okay, so basically our outcome for today is to understand the file input and output operations, and then for you to be able to use file operation techniques in writing and extracting input and output data. So this is what our our uh, our outcome should be. Okay, this is what our goal is. So let's start here. Okay, so here file is basically what I'm trying to mention you is for you to store information permanently. Okay, meanings that from your codes here, okay, you have like for example, this is your Python code. You have input this blah 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 this. Okay, and you can see in your variable this kind of information, right? Am I right? Okay, in your variables. So our intention is that all this information, like for example, metric ID in your variables, how do you store it in a file inside your PC and can be opened by anything else? Like for example, you want to open with Microsoft document, you want to open with PowerPoint, not PowerPoint, okay, might be open with Excel. Okay, so how do you want to open them? Okay, so this is what you're going to create for today. We're going to learn for today. So when you want to store the information permanently, okay, oops, sorry, my mouse. Okay, when you want to store the information permanently, okay, this is the first command that you need to know. Open file. Oops, sorry. This is the first command that you need to know. Open file. This one. And then once you want to store information is fp write. Okay, fp write. So here you see that, okay, let me just show you in the Tony. Yeah, okay, this is my Tony file new. Just give you a trailer. I am the one doing the hot answer, the test answer this week. I think in a few weeks, next week I think. The hot answer. This is the sample answer. You see? You see? This is the sample answer. Oh, I hope I said accidentally open it so that you can saw it, but no, I will not open it. Okay. So this is the answer. See? Hot sample answer. This is for this week. For the test later on. Just to tempt you lah. Okay, so this is for chapter 9. Okay, C9. Okay, so let's just focus on this one first. Okay, fp equal open. Okay, let's make a new file. Here means that this is a file that contains student_mass.txt. Okay, so you have this right. All right, W means right, huh? Right. So means that here you want to open a file for you to write. Means that for you to store information in them. Okay, so now next, okay, let's for example num student, okay, equal int input number of student. Okay, so here metric ID equal 0 for index in a range of num. Okay, so here next is for index in range num student print metric ID +1. Okay, we have this one. Okay, let's write this one first. Or you can write it with me if you want. Okay, practice make perfect. Practice make you an expert. So if you have time to do the coding instead of waiting for me, just write it together with me so that you can practice as well. So you are familiar with the writing. So programming, if you think that you can remember all of them, you are really, really okay. Really, will not be successful lah, basically. Okay. So you have time, you do it with me. Now we have one of the time here. Try and do with me. Okay. So here, okay, fp.close. Okay, so I'll copy this and put it in our Google Meet messages so that you can try in your phone, Tony. Okay, so this when you run it, okay, looks at what happened. Number of student. Okay, let's put number of student 2. Okay, metric number 1 KK1234 and metric number 2 KA1234. Okay, so let's see what happened in the file. So when you open file, open, like for example, this is one is all Python, right? So I think I saved them in downloads. So I need to open my downloads file. Okay, downloads. Okay. Okay, as you can see in my downloads here, I have this studentmark.txt. Okay, so what is this studentmark.txt? This is a file that store the information here. Okay, so you see that I have this text file here that store this information KK1234 KA1234. So in case you want to try again, okay, let's try again. Number of student I put 4. So I put metric ID 1 KA12345 KB12345. Okay, here we put KC12345 and then we have KD12345 and okay 5. 5. I want to put 5, but why is it 4? I put 4. Okay, so and then it look at all those information is stored in this text file. Okay, really cool, right? Okay, you're storing all those information. So this is how you store information permanently in your PC. So that why I say permanently, as long as you do not delete this from your PC, it will remain in your PC. Okay, so this is how we're going to do the file processing. So we are finished halfway. Okay, we're halfway finished actually. Okay, halfway for our class is already finished. Okay, so when you want to do the codes, okay, let's take a look at the codes. Okay, so you need to have this side. Okay, and then you have this side, this one, and then you need to have this one. Okay, 3 parts. What are these 3 parts means? This one means that you open a file, okay, for writing. Just remember, I said, you want to open a file for writing and that file is saved as variable FP. Okay, as variable FP. Okay, so this is what we want to do. Okay, open a file. Okay, open a file for writing as variable FP. And down here, you look at, okay, file is in FP. You are going to write, okay, this information, matrix ID. This information, matrix ID, okay, matrix ID plus, okay, /n. So what does it mean by /n? /n means you want it to go downwards. Okay, you want it to go downwards. And then you have FP close. We mean that you close the writing. What happened if you don't have this part? Okay, let's try to remove this part and let's see what will happen to your information. So you have 4 students. So you have KA12345, KB12345, KC12345, and then KD12345. So what happened next? Okay, let's take a look at the file. Okay, student marks. You see that all of them is being handled horizontally. Okay, so you see that horizontally. So here you need to make sure that you include the matrix ID plus a space next to it so that it will go downwards. So when you run this, save, okay, you close this and you run it again. Okay, you see 4, KA12345, KB12345, KC12345, KD12345. Okay, so here you see that from the results, okay, what you see that it will go back. Oops, something wrong. What happened here? This one because I use a different direction. Okay, so here let's try save again. Okay, I use a different direction most probably. Okay, so you run again. Okay, 4, one KA 1 2 3 4 5, KB 1 2 3 4 5, KC 1 2 3 4 5, and KD 1 2 3 4 5. So what happened here next? Okay, when you see this, okay, it will be downwards. Okay, vertically. Okay, so this is what we want. So you need to remember this is what we should do when you want to store all those information. You have 3 points. First, you need to open them and save it as a variable. And from there, you put in variable dot write what information that you want, and you put in variable close. Okay, that is the thing that we need to know for storing information as a file. Okay, now this is your file, supposedly like this. Okay, and then okay, so here, okay, next is what we're going to do next is where we want to have more than one information. Instead of having only the student ID, we want to put in ID and the mark as well. Okay, we want to put in ID and the mark as well. So take a look at your own Tony code that you have created before. Okay, you have number of student and then you have number of assessment. Okay, so let's create one additional variable here, number of assessment. Okay, which is assessment number that you want to put for each of the students within well, for each of the students you have a number of assessments. So that basically assessments. Okay, so next you have to define the range of the assessment, the array for the assessment. Okay, I did mention before, I forgot to mention, this one is an array, okay? An array. Matrix ID for an array, the length, the index 0, starting with 0, until the number of students that you have defined. If you define 4, so the array is 4 elements inside it. Okay, so here in this case, I just copy this one and put it underneath. Okay, so for now, this is one of the tricky part. Okay, okay, so here you see that I have 0 for column in range of num assessment and for row in range num student. So means that you have a row of num student, and from this row you have 3 more columns. Okay, so you have, like for example, for row 0 you have column 0 1 2. Okay, so you have to make sure that you do it correctly. So let's just show you first. So you have 2 elements inside, so you just do copy paste. This one not finished yet, just now. So copy paste and change this into num access. Okay, num access. Okay, 0 4 is not index, so this one is column. Okay, and then here you have this is instead of index, you change it to row. You have row and column. For column, in range of how many is based on what you input, and for row, in range. So this one, okay, if you look at my video from last week, what we call this? This is what we call two-dimensional array. Okay, why do we call it two-dimensional array? Because it have row and column. Okay, if it's three-dimensional, you have to add one more within this, like for example 0 4. Okay, here you have to add this one more three-dimensional. This one to make it three-dimensional, you have it depth. Not Johnny Depp, depth. Okay, so here you have for each row you have another depth. This is three-dimensional. Okay, so we are not going to use three-dimensional. You use two-dimensional. So when you want to use two-dimensional, okay, we have one for row and one for column. Okay, so simple as that. Okay, so a column must be within a row. A column must be within a row, because here you see that we have 2 columns for the results. Okay, so 2 columns for 1 row. Okay, this one in this case it display 3 because 1 is from students ID and 2 is from assessment. And in this case here, we have only 2 assessments lah. So here in this case, should be 2 columns only. Okay. So next, okay, we'll proceed with the array here. You see that for index in range, okay, because we have a row and columns, you are not going to use index. We have a row. See, sorry, row for row. Row in range of number of students, and then you have this print the matrix ID whatsoever, and you have another variables inside it, okay, for column. Okay, so you have inside this one is for column. Okay, column, okay, in range of num assessment. Okay, number says. So look back, okay. Here you see that I'm going to write the column, the row first. Okay, we are going to write the row first, okay. Means that here we write the row, meaning the student ID. Okay, and when we write the row, we don't want it to space downwards. We want it to continue to the right side. Okay, from there, next we have print out the column. And from here, you have assessment. Assessment. Oh, where do I put a num assess? Okay, assessment. Okay, we have assessment, the array, and you have row and column. Okay, so where do you get this row and column? The row and column is from here and here. Okay, so supposedly it's not index, it's supposed to be a row first. Okay, row plus 1, row. Okay, and then here down here is column. Okay, and then we have down here is also column. Oops, no. This supposedly we change everything because this one is for the tough one. Okay, this one will continue from the display from matrix here. Okay, display from the metric ID here. So after you display the metric ID, you want it to put a comma, and then from comma, okay, from comma you want to put in assessment from the assessment array. Okay, okay. Instead of using plus, you can even use comma like this. It's also okay. Okay, I'm particularly used to using plus here just to differentiate with other programming language that I've used. Okay, so now you see that okay, we have this metric row that produce this side first. Okay, KA19088 side first, and then you have continuing to the array here. You will continue them with the student marks. Okay, from here the first, if you have 2 marks, it will loop 2 times. Okay, first loop and second loop. Okay, according to the column. And once it finished, we want it to skip one. We want it to go down one line. So when you want it to go down one line outside of the array for column, back one. Okay, you put in FP right. Okay, you have this jump one line downwards. Okay, so now you supposedly you have finished it. So let's try and run this program. Okay, oh, what did I do wrong? Number of assessment eval input. Oh, I think I forgot one. Okay, so run it. Okay, which one next? Assessment, number of number assess. Okay, where did I do wrong? Okay, where did I do wrong? Oh, no need to 0. For row English. Okay, so here. Okay, number of students here, in this case I put in 4. Number of assessment I put in 2. So matrix ID here I put KA12345. Okay, KA, oops, why doesn't it go downwards? Okay, never mind, let's try do first. KB, oh yeah, I know why, because I put here metric. supposedly to be marked. Okay, let's stop here first. Okay, run it again. Okay, for students KA12345. Oops. Oh, sorry. Wrong input. Okay, number of students here 4, number of assessment 2, metric ID, the first one KA12345. Okay, mark 1, I put 34, mark 2, 35. Okay, metric 2 now is KB12345, mark 1, 24, mark 2, 25. Okay, now metric ID 3 is KC12345, mark 1 is 15, mark 2 is 16, and finally KD12345. Okay, mark 1 is 5, mark 2 is 6. Okay, supposedly I should store all this information. If you want to know that whether the information is correct or wrong, okay, look at here. You see that we have two arrays in the variable. So the first array is the metric ID, okay, and then you have the second array is for the assessment mark. Okay, you see that they are in two different array. So when you want to save them in one file, okay, you have to write them separately here. So this one is for metric ID, and here is assessment. You can combine all those information under one file. Okay, so let's see. It should have any error. Does it have an error? Okay, you can see that this is the result at the end. I have entered 4 information. Okay, so for students information, okay, you can see that this is the mark. Okay, so all of them are displayed correctly as what I wanted. Okay, so you can copy this. Okay, I copied this and put it into the code so that you can find. Oops, it's not complete. Okay, you can complete it by yourself. Okay, right. Okay, supposedly like that. Okay, can you guys copy it? Can you guys try it by yourself? I think one of them is not complete. First, I cannot remove it. Okay. So just be careful with FP right assessment. There is a little bit cut there. That column. This one is cut. So make sure that you try and read from this one. Okay. Okay. So do you have any questions so far? Do you have any questions so far? No questions? No questions so far? So okay. No question, huh? No question. So I'll proceed with the next one. Okay, so next one, okay, we want to make it a little bit more fancier. Okay, a little bit more fancier. So in this case, okay, we have this Tony. Okay, we have this Tony here. You can see that here we have this open file. Okay, metric ID, same thing that we have created before. Okay, here in this case, what is the difference is that we want to, how can I say, we want to write into the file and also read from that file. Okay, we want to read from that file. So as you can see here, we are saving it as CSV file. So CSV file is one of the common spreadsheet files. Okay, let's just do a new one, CSV. Okay, W plus. Okay, so this CSV W plus. Okay, so here we have all of them key in. This one where we write in the file. So instead of closing it immediately, we want to reopen it back and read it back to us. Okay, so from here, okay, so here FP6 is means that you want to search back into the first line. Okay, so when you key in the information, go downwards, downwards, downwards into the next line, right? So now first we are going to seek the first line back. Okay, 0. And then you want to display this into your own PC, right? The as like in your Python terminal, right? So you find out you want it to display the information in a easy to read way. So you put in, okay, student ID, like for example. Okay, since we have 2 marks only, yeah, 2 marks only, we want it to have one for quiz one. Let's just make it simple lah. One for quiz one slash t, and then you have test one slash t. Okay, and then we'll no need. Okay, so test. Okay, so good quiz 2. Okay, so next we have print ID. Oh no, this one is just a line, so short line is good enough. Okay, next is for from file in FP. Okay, okay, std info equal from file dot split. Okay, ID student info 0, and then you have quiz 1. So let's do a simple one first. Quiz 1 student info 1, and you have quiz 2 is equal to student info 2. Okay, so okay, we'll forget the others first. Okay, so we print ID. Okay, and here you have a space, and then you have quiz. Okay, and then you have test. Quiz 1, sorry, quiz 1, and then you have a new table. Okay, and then you have quiz 2. Okay, so supposedly I think should be okay. So then finally FP close. Okay, you have this file close. Okay, let's run this one first. Let's take a look what happened. Okay, so here you have all this information down here. Okay, so let's key in all the information now. So when you run this, number of students, let's put it 4. Assessment 2, KA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, KB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry, wrong. Stop. Supposed to be K marks. Okay, 4, KA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, And again, for student, 2 marks. Okay, KA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Marks here is 45 and then 35. No, 44. Okay, KA, KB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Marks 34, 35, 34. Okay, then KC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here is 25, 24. KKD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 15 and 14. Okay, so now we try to troubleshoot. Okay, so quiz 1 to quiz 2, quiz 1 is not defined. Okay, so what is, oh, because I use large, Q. Okay, let's put in Q, large Q. We put in large Q here. Okay, so again, I have to repeat the process. This is kind of troublesome. Okay, 2 assessment, KA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 45, 44, KB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 35, 34, KC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25, 24, KD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, and 14. So you see that this is the result of the saving and calling back all those information. Okay, this is it. So what happened to the program's file? Okay, you see that here I have this CSV file. Okay, this is a V file. Is basically you can open it in Excel file. You can see that it stores the information is shown here. Okay, so really nice new table here stored here. Okay, so okay, do you have any questions so far? Okay, do you have any questions so far? Okay, so do you have any question?
No, doctor.
No, no, doctor. Okay, so I'm just curious by myself. This kenapa sih tak ada slash t? Supposedly you need the slash t. Okay, so we need to close this one first. So supposedly there is slash t there. I forgot. 2. So KA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mark 1, 34, 44, 45. Mark 2. KB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 34, 35. KC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 24, 25. KD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 and 16. 16. Okay. So what is the difference between this one and the above one? Oh, I see. I know the difference now. Okay, because this is quite huge, so that's why I didn't put in the T. Okay, the slash T. Okay, so this is one of the reasons. Supposedly it's supposed to put in the slash T. Okay, so if the distance is quite far, so that's why I didn't put the slash T. Okay, see? Okay, so we don't put the slash T here. Okay, so do you have any questions so far? No questions? No questions? No questions? Okay, so if you don't have no questions, okay, you don't have any questions, okay, I'll copy this and put it into the Google Meet chat so that you can okay. You don't need to create the file first. Okay, you have one question here from Nurul Anis Amira. We must create the first file first, right? Sir, no, you don't need to create them. So when you define here, like for example, fp open, okay, if you don't have file, okay, in your directory, like for example, my directory is in downloads. I have problems. I did not set up it properly. Okay, just look at in the directory. Okay, when you do something like this. Okay, look at inventory, it automatically appear there. Okay, it will automatically appear there once you close it. Okay, you open and then you close it, automatically will create a new one. Like myself, I didn't open it, I didn't create it before, like for example the CSV file. So once I do the code, it automatically create the new file inside your directory here, up here. You can look at the directory here. So you just copy this. Okay, let me just copy first the top row first. Okay, this is the top row, and then this is down. Okay. So this is top one. Okay, don't include Anis Amira comment. Okay, top and bottom one, as you can see here. Okay. So this code represent all the things that we are going to learn today. How to read the codes, how to write the file, and how to read from the file. So if you can see here, okay, let's take a look. Okay, from file in file FP. So okay, what if you don't have everything here? You just want to read it. You don't need to write it. You just want to read it. Okay, let's just remove. Okay, all of this. Okay, so let's take a look and run it. Oops, nothing displayed. Why is there's nothing displayed here? Is there no information inside? Oh, no information inside. Okay, because it's a new one. Okay, so let's just write it first. Okay, something. Okay. Okay, so supposedly you need to open them. What's wrong? Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention. If you want to read only, okay, let's just test it from here. Okay, let's put information here. Oh no, no. Okay, cannot. Okay, just because it's running right now. Okay, let's write something first. Okay, KA1234, number of student 4. Let's put it 2 lah, easier to say, 2 assignment. Okay, KA12345. Okay, 34. KKB 12345, and then we have 23. Okay, so let's take a look at the files down here. Oh, not this one. CSV file just now. Okay, CSV. Okay, so here is the information in your file. So in case you want to just read, not write, without writing. Okay, so let's put R. Okay, see? So now you are reading only from the file. You are not going to write it. You are going to, you're just going to read it, read from the file. So when you read it, you just put it R, okay, and it can just read it immediately. So as seen here, okay, don't believe me, clear, okay. Okay, just place it, and all those information in your CSV file, okay, is being read by this code. Very short code, okay. Okay, so in case you are a hacker, you want to get this. Oh, my marks is quite low. Okay, for each file, I want to double it, double information, double the data, the marks. Okay, so you see that the marks here, 34, 23. Okay, so you are a very shitty hacker. Okay, you double this mark. Okay, ooh, times 2. What does it mean? Here, 34 means that, okay, when you have this quiz 1, this is basically from, this is an, what you call it, this is a different data type. It's not math. Okay, it's an information which is strings. So strings, when you put in times 2, it become double. 34, 34. Okay, and then 34, 30, 23, 23. Okay, it become double. So it's supposedly this 34 being on the right side lah. Okay, so it become double down here. So if you cannot hack it immediately, okay, you need to make sure that you change it data type into uh, integer data types. Okay, so that you can modify the data types properly. Okay, so let's take a look at the next things that we need to do. Okay, like for example here you see that, okay, file open sales csv.read. Okay, from here you see that they have sales, eval in sales, item sales, eval sales, eval sales too. Okay, so when you want, okay, to calculate quantity times unit of price, you need to put eval so that the data type is being changed immediately to a proper data types that you want to use. Okay, so like for example, you are a good hacker. Okay, so you are a good hacker, you want to change your mark. Okay, down here. Okay, I want to change my mark. Okay, put in eval here, student info. Okay, so and then you have here eval student info. Okay, times 2. Okay, okay, let's try it again. So when you do this, no, still cannot. Oh, supposedly. Okay, good. Down here. Okay, when you put eval in the files, okay, if it's a number, it will properly change it into a number that you can calculate. Okay, like for example here in this case, oh, your mark supposed to be 34, now it's become 68. Oh, you're a very good hacker. However, just to remind you that this is just for display. So you still shitty hacker because the original data is not changed. Okay, it was not changed. Okay, because why? Because you did not write it. You just use it to read it. Okay, you did not write it. So when you read, you look like your marks is high, but actually stored in database is really low, half of it. Okay, so this is one way for you to do it. Okay, like in this case, you can do any calculation that you want. Like for example, you want to combine quiz 1 and quiz 2 means that you can quiz 1 times quiz 2, something like that. And from there, you can print it out immediately like this one. Okay, so this is one way for you to do it inside. Oops, something wrong. My screen suddenly turned off. Just a moment. Can you hear me? Is there any buzzing sound or something like that? Okay, I think okay, just okay right now. Okay, so this is how you do it. You use it like for example you times the quantity with unit price, and then you can print it. Okay, unfortunately this print is for display only in your terminal, not for changing the information inside the codes. Okay, so here is for you to read. Okay, and then total employed, you get the total employed here. Okay, means that you can calculate it easily by change them into an integer. Like for example, in this case here, you can just change them into an integer. Okay, change here. Okay, so here in this case is you want to write. Okay, okay, from here you can see that you have a file grade. Okay, this one what we did before, grade and calculate. Okay, So from here, you open a grade.cssv, okay, and then you create an array storing the value of the grades and everything. Okay, total grade, okay, calculate value, determining grade. And from here, you write all of them, okay, information inside your codes. Okay, inside your codes. Okay, so this is up until what we're going to do today. Is there any question for you to ask? Do you want to ask anything? So you just need to remember, okay, if you want to write something, FP write. Okay, if you want to read something, you need to put in from file in FP. Okay, means that it reads all the lines automatically. Okay, so this is where you want to read, and this is where you want to write. Okay, do you have any questions so far? Any questions? Ada soalan?
No.
No. No questions? No questions? Okay, so for your lab exercise, okay, I don't think I have time because I need to be somewhere else at 10. Okay, to discuss your lab, I think I don't have time to discuss about your lab, but I will provide you a lab answer, okay, based on a good student's answer in Kalam, so that you can look back at those answers and you can learn from it by yourself. Okay, so for tomorrow, for day after tomorrow lab, okay, I will provide an exercise like this for you to do in your lab session. So just submit it again for your attendance for your lab. Okay, so we will have final assessment, we'll have tests and also 2 quiz. Okay, quiz, I already prepared it online for Python. Okay, so you can just answer the quiz. Don't worry, this next 2 quiz was created by me. And then we have the test also created by me, and final assessment was not created by me, but I think already done. I'm not sure who created them. Okay, so please make sure you fulfill all those requirements so that you can finish the course with good grades. Okay, lastly, do you have any question before we finish? No question? Yeah.
Doktor nak tanya pasal array boleh?
Oh, okay, silakan. Nak share screen ke?
Oh, tak nak pun.
Okay.
Yang setengah tunjuk tu pun boleh juga sebab tu array
Okay.
juga kan.
Aha.
Yang dekat line 20 tu yang determine lepas tu underscore grade dalam kurungan apa semua tu memang nak kena tulis ke untuk keluarkan dia punya output? Tu output ke sebenarnya?
Tak, ini input. Sebagian ni, grade ni, determine grade berada dalam file lain. File grade.py ni. Calculate value ni pun berada dalam file lain. So, yang ini, okay, you ada information, minta dekat dalam file ni. Okay, information ni diminta dalam file ni. So, untuk you guna calculation dekat dalam file ni, you kena hantar information tu pergi file ni dulu. Bila you nak hantar pergi file ni, you kena masukkan command dia. So, ini adalah command determine grade ni adalah command untuk hantar pergi ke file ni, dan apa value yang you nak hantar adalah 4 value ni.
Oh.
Okay, bila dekat dalam grade ni, dia akan terima 4 value ni, dia akan calculate lah sama ada value tu array ke, variable ke, is okay. Okay, yang itu bila dia dah masuk dalam file ni, dia akan operate macam biasa lah. Faham?
Oh, faham.
So
dia,
this is function.
Yang determine tu kalau yang determine grade apa semua tu untuk keluarkan masuk kat file lain
yeah.
Atas from grade import tu nak masukkan ke dalam ni.
Okay, dekat yang from grade import ni, okay, so from grade import ni bukan nak masuk ke dalam ni. From grade import ni maksudnya kita akan gunakan file grade.py ni. Actually atas grade import ni kita ada satu lagi from calculate import juga. Okay, saya ada nampak di nombor 2 kan. Nombor 1 from calculate import. Okay, so from grade import ni maknanya kita bagi tahu untuk coding ni dia akan menggunakan file grade.py ni juga. Okay, untuk coding ni kita akan gunakan file calculate.py ni juga. So kita bagi tahu dekat dalam kod ni, dekat Python, yang kita nak guna file ni dengan file ni. Okay, so bila you nak guna, you kena hantar maklumat apa kepada file ni supaya file ni boleh calculate ikut apa yang awak nak. Okay, so like for example, calculate value ni, okay, dia perlukan 3 information. So awak kena hantar 3 information ke calculate.py, baru calculate.py ni boleh kembalikan result calculation dia tu dalam bentuk
Dekat
total.
sini.
Dia bagi balik, dia dah calculate, dia bagi balik total. Yang ni hasil yang awak bagi ni. Okay, you dah bagi 3 value and at the end result dia dapat ni dah, saya dah calculate, ambil ni total. Inilah maksud dia. Yang ni awak tak perlu nak calculate, tapi awak nak awak tak perlu balik dia punya value, awak just nak bagi tahu aja information ni dekat grade.py ni. Bagi tahu aja. So dia tak perlu bagi balik result dia tu dekat total.main ni. Dia just calculate sahaja. So dia determine grade sahaja. So yang masa awak download tadi tu kan, awak dah dapat data total ni, awak nak save data total ni masuk ke dalam file. Itu sahaja. Okay, cuma data total ni okay, dia ada, contohnya dia dalam bentuk array. Okay, like for example total tu dalam bentuk array, you kena determine dia dalam bentuk array lah. Dia ada row, dia ada column ke, just in case. Okay. Okay. Faham? Okay, ada soalan lain? Ada soalan lain?
Doktor, kalau boleh lah kan, yang lab sheet ni hari tu nak minta tolong
Discuss. Discuss lab
Susah
sheet.
lah.
Okay, tak apa. Nanti saya buat. Yang mana? Yang minggu lepas punya ke? Yang array? Okay, tak apa. Nanti saya buat video, saya upload ke YouTube. Okay?
Okay, terima kasih.
Okay. Nanti kalau kita boleh buat lah session apa-apa. Kalau you tak faham juga, you boleh WhatsApp. Kita boleh buat appointment, discuss macam ni online lah. Okay? Okay, so anybody who wants to discuss with me online, okay, kita boleh buat appointment lah. Okay, kadang-kadang bila saya ada di office, okay, you boleh buat. Kalau you free, kita set time, kita boleh discuss sama-sama. You can share screen you. Okay, kita boleh discuss sama-sama lah all together. Okay. Ada question? Tak ada soalan lain? Ada soalan lain? Okay, just WhatsApp me sir. Saya student ni computer programming. Sir free waktu bila, saya nak tanya sikit pasal soalan-soalan ni lah. Okay. Ada soalan? Aminur Husna tadi yang tanya saya tadi. Okay, kalau apa ni, sekejap lagi saya ada meeting. Nanti kita awak message saya, nanti kita discuss sama-sama. Boleh saya record sekali bagi kawan awak. Okay.
Kalau saya buat yang online je.
YouTube je. Okay lah, saya buat online je lah. Okay, YouTube je lah. Senang kan? Okay. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week. Okay, so next week I think afterwards, okay, saya akan buat demonstration soalan-soalan untuk you punya later untuk you punya assessment atau final exam. Okay, saya akan gunakan semualah, array semua. Saya akan cuba buat dan saya akan explain dalam video YouTube. So kita tak perlu ada face to face. Okay, if you need face to face session, I think kita akan buat dalam masa 1 jam je kot, setengah jam ke 1 jam lah. Kalau you rasa tak perlu, kita just go one by one lah. Kalau you nak jumpa saya, WhatsApp saya dan kita boleh open a session lah. Okay, maybe if somebody wants to discuss with me, bagi tahu kat saya dan saya akan buat appointment dengan student tu. Saya akan bagi tahu student lain juga. Okay, mungkin siapa yang nak tanya soalan lain boleh join that appointment as well. Okay. Okay.
Pasti nak tanya yang test ni masuk chapter berapa?
Test ni maksudnya chapter 1 sampai 7 sehingga function. Patutnya you guys boleh buat lah kot. Senang je kan sampai function. Okay. Test sampai function. Tapi quiz ada array dengan file processing. Okay. Anything else? Tak ada.
Okay, tak ada dah.
Okay, that's all for today. I'll see you guys later. InsyaAllah. Assalamualaikum. Okay, don't worry about the attendance. Everybody came here because list ada 32 orang. Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doktor.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, Doktor.